Okay, so as you know, my YouTube channel is more than just real estate. It is a channel about living in Lower Alabama. So we can't get to this time of year, which is the end of February 2025, and not talk about Mardi Gras. All right, I came here in 2012, so I've been here 13 years. And quite frankly, I have come to the belief that everybody that doesn't live in Lower Alabama or New Orleans does not understand Mardi Gras. They don't get it. I didn't get it. I've been here 13 years and I still don't understand it. There's a ton. I mean, Mardi Gras is steeped in history. So anyway, my girlfriend and the Munchkin went to a Mardi Gras parade on Saturday. And so for all of those, if you live here, this video is not for you. You probably know way more about Mardi Gras than I do. But this is for all the people that, since I'm a realtor, and I mainly talk on nearly 100% of the people I talk to are coming from outside of this area to live here or to invest here, I'm talking to you, all right? So, because I was one of you. I'm from North Carolina on the coast. So, I mean, this whole community, the culture of it, everything, it was totally new to me. It's still kind of new to me now. But anyway, so we went Saturday, and so I wanted to show you what it's like to be at a Mardi Gras parade in Mobile, Alabama. Okay, so after looking at some of the clips that I took while I was there, I took a bunch, probably took like 30 clips, but they were mainly of the floats. I realized that I could have taken better footage. But quite frankly, I just didn't want to get involved in all the people. So I stood back and I just took pictures of clips of floats, but I could have done a lot better. So I apologize in advance for that. But while you're watching through this, I'm going to go through some fun facts, things that maybe you didn't know about Mardi Gras, and it's very entertaining, no doubt about that. The first thing I have to say, when most people around the country, around the world, when they think of Mardi Gras, they think of New Orleans. I did. Coming from North Carolina, I just associated Mardi Gras with New Orleans. And for sure, they have some massive parades. I mean, Bourbon Street is kind of known for Mardi Gras and all that. And maybe that's why most people think of New Orleans. But here's a fun fact. If you didn't know, Mardi Gras actually started in Mobile. Yes, it did. The first, Mardi Gras started in Mobile in 1703. I told you that this festival is steeped in history. I mean, this going back to 1703, and it started in Mobile. Now there is a ton of history, tons of writings about Mardi Gras over the past couple hundred years. So, I mean, feel free to look at the history. There is a ton of history on this, but I'm just kind of breezing over the top and giving you some easy facts on it. So 1703, but then talk about New Orleans. It didn't even start in New Orleans until 1837. So, you know, over 130 years later. So it's funny, just because of Bourbon Street in the downtown area of New Orleans, which I've been several times, I mean, that is, it didn't even start there. So Mobile is the originator. That kind of blew me away when I found that out. One other fact is that the Mardi Gras dates, which I talked about earlier, they are determined by Easter. So because Easter changes every year, a different day every year, Mardi Gras is usually set 47 days prior to Easter. So that's, every year it's going to be different for that stretch of time that Mardi Gras will do its parades. And then finally, I'll just talk about, you have these organizations, I don't even know what you call them, crews, I think is what you call them. But there's all these organizations that will be on a float, and man, this is a big deal down here. I'm telling you, this is just a big deal. I don't get it. I had an opportunity to join one of these crews one time. I decided not to. But I mean, they have Mardi Gras balls with their organizations. You know, they put all their money together, and they have these big floats, and they have these throws that they throw from the floats. And typically what you're going to see is beads, mainly beads, I think, but you're going to see frisbees and hula hoops, stuffed animals. I saw one stuffed animal, I pointed it out to Amanda. I said, I mean, the stuffed animal was as big as a human. I mean, they were throwing all kinds of stuff from these floats. And moon pies is a big one down in Mobile. That's kind of like a coveted gift if you get a moon pie. And so, I mean, there was a lot of snacks. I saw animal crackers, I saw nabs, I mean, flying through the air. I mean, people are just scooping this stuff up. And there's just hundreds of thousands of strands of beads. Hundreds of thousands. It's just, they weren't throwing them out just one at a time. I mean, they were throwing them out sometimes in big clumps, just throwing them out into the crowd, like maybe 30, 40 beads at a time. And it was just interesting. And then a couple other things that are associated with Mardi Gras is food, and of course I mentioned moon pie, but another thing too that is really prominent around this time of year is a king cake. And you've probably heard of king cakes, and it's traditional. I don't know much about baking. I know regular cooking, but I'm not much of a baker. But it usually has the traditional colors, and it's kind of like a cinnamon roll with the different colored frostings on top with glitter. And in the old days, they used to put a penny, some kind of a coin, or even a little baby, and I forget what that represents, but they would hide a baby somewhere in that king cake, and then whoever got it, something great was supposed to happen to them. I don't know. I need to do the research on that too. Again, I've only been here 13 years, and there's a lot to know about Mardi Gras, but I think they stopped putting the baby inside the cake because people were choking. So anyway, there it is. All right, so this year, 2025, Mardi Gras started on February 14th, and it will go until March the 4th, which is Fat Tuesday. So that's, I counted them all up. There's actually 14 days of parades in Mobile. And that's just Mobile, by the way. We also have Mardi Gras parades in Fairhope and Daphne, and also down at the beach in Gulf Shores and Orange Beach. You often see, well, you can't get away from seeing it. There's 3 colors that are prominent within Mardi Gras, and these are the colors of green, gold, and purple, and they each have a hidden meaning, and that's why these colors have lasted the test of time. The color green relates to faith. The color gold relates to power. And the color purple relates to justice. Here's another thing, and I'm just finding this out today when I did a little bit of research, that masks are actually required by law if you're going to be on a float. You have to be either wearing a mask or have your face painted. And it is not only a tradition, but it is a law. So I definitely saw some people without face paint or a mask, so I don't know if they got a ticket or not, but I thought that was really interesting. One thing that I found very interesting when I moved here is that down here, kids actually get off from Mardi Gras. They get out of school for like a week. I couldn't believe that. Yeah. Well, we really don't have snow days, well, other than this year. We actually got snow, which is weird. But yeah, the kids get like a week off of school for Mardi Gras, which totally blew me away. All right, so Mardi Gras is a fun time. It is yet one more thing. There are a ton of things to do in Lower Alabama, and this time of year, from middle of February to the beginning of March, first week in March, I mean, this area is inundated with Mardi Gras. It is always going on. It's going on in Mobile on that side, and it's going on on the Baldwin County side as well. But it's mainly focused. The big focus is over in the downtown area of Mobile. But there is so much to do down here all the time, all year long. And usually we have a great climate down here during the wintertime. So I mean, you're going to find very pleasant to be at a parade in February in Mobile. So I hope you enjoyed this little quick video about another tradition we have down in Lower Alabama. And if you're moving down here, of course, give me a call. This is what I do. Talk to you guys soon.